We are live. Hello, Team Destiny. It is Thursday. I'm adjusting the camera. It is Thursday, September 13th, 2018. Yeah, because tomorrow's Friday, September 14th, and then Saturday, September 15th is my birthday. So that is amazing. This broadcast complements an article on destinyjackson.org that's called Cultivating Love and Bonding with Your Parent in Prison, and 22 positive questions to ask your parent in prison. So first I will emphasize that one collateral consequence of parental incarceration is what I call emotional disenfranchisement, where the child or the young adult who has a parent in prison may feel emotionally disconnected from their parent, their mom or their dad in prison. Emotional disenfranchisement. And that can lead to psychological, emotional, and mental isolation, which is truly devastating to the emotional wholeness and the self-esteem of children and youth and young adults with parents in prison. So, in an effort to cultivate bonding with your parent in prison rather than isolation, it's important that you understand that life is so short, and I would rather you be able to say that you spent the time with your parent in prison that was positive and that was nurturing and that was loving, rather than one day you saying, goodness, if only I would have spent more time with my mom or dad in prison. If only I wasn't so, if only I was more reflective and I really took the time to talk to my parent in prison. Now, we already know that there are some barriers to contacting your parent in prison, whether it be the mail, delays in the mail, or exorbitant costs with talking to your parent in prison on the phone, or maybe travel distance, long distance relationship, really. But regardless of that, you always can write a letter. If you can speak on the phone, excellent. And if you can visit your parent in prison, then definitely do so. They're already isolated just with being in prison alone. Your parent is treated with the fact that they're in prison. Your mom or dad, for the most part, by the system, is treated like just a number. Like their lives are invaluable. But with having a parent in prison, it's not up for you to decide whether or not you should really be communicating with your parent in prison. I would say that just like anybody else, you deserve that relationship with your parent in prison. You don't have to allow, see, it's all what you tell yourself. You don't have to allow physical barriers to impact the spiritual and the social and the loving relationship that you have with your parent in prison, regardless of where they are on the globe, regardless of where your parent is. The love and the bonding and the relationship really can remain unmarred, because essentially you deserve to be loved. Your parents deserve to be loved, regardless of their past mistakes, regardless of their regardless of this burden of incarceration. The love, the positivity, the bonding, and the nurturing can still exist. And I'm here to tell you that. It's also really important to understand that with your self-esteem, you will feel so much better knowing that you are contacting, you are writing, and you are speaking to your parent in prison rather than isolating them. Do not be ashamed that your parent is in prison. Rather than being ashamed, be appreciative. Because there are some folks in this world who maybe their mom or their dad passed away at an early age, and they may not even have the opportunity to spend physical time with their parent. So even if your parent is in prison, understand that still can be a blessing because you still have your parent living. You still can contact your parent. You still can write your parent. You still can pray for your parent. Another way to cultivate love and bonding with your parent in prison is definitely to pray. I pray all the time for my dad and so many other family members. But prayer is amazing because God can spread those words and those prayers right into your parents' heart. God can move mountains. He can do it all, you know? So it is so important that you anchor 1 Thessalonians 5:17 on that. Pray without ceasing. Your parents love to receive cards and receive letters and receive photographs. They love to hear how you're doing. They love to share memories with you. And in addition to creating memories, definitely read that article on love and bonding and 22 positive questions that you can ask your parent in prison that's on destinyjackson.org, because that will truly complement this broadcast and truly complement this teaching. It's also important and valuable for you to realize that I'm just touching back on the emotional disenfranchisement. I look at it like, if you ponder too much on the fact that your parent is not with you physically, like directly in front of you when you want your parent to be in prison, then you might find yourself sinking into a glass half empty perspective rather than a glass half full perspective. And I don't want that for you. I pray that you are happy. I pray that you are optimistic. I pray that you are positive. I pray that parental incarceration does not barricade your relationship and your bonding with your mom or dad in prison. And if anyone told you that parental incarceration will just screw over or cripple your relationship with your parent in prison, then they've lied to you or they're misinformed. I can speak about this not just from throwing things out in the air, but I can speak about this because I have personal ethos and pathos with this. Because, as most of you already know, my biological father has been incarcerated all of my life. So I truly believe that you can succeed with a parent in prison. I know that you can thrive with a parent in prison. To do that, you may have to, follow, you may have to not follow the status quo. Following the status quo and doing what everybody else does may not necessarily work for you, but it's totally fine. Rather than you treating your parent as if they are invisible, treat them as if they are worthy, because they are worthy, and treat them as if they are valuable. Just because society may choose to ignore or reject them, that is not an indicator of their worth, of their wisdom, and of their value. The way that our society treats those without a voice is a reflection of our humanity. And in order to continue to spread and to uphold the torch of positivity and the torch of equanimity, we must treat everybody with love and with care and with compassion. And that is such a dignifiable principle, you know, that is so profound. And when you have a parent in prison, believe it or not, you're chosen. You're chosen to do great things. You're chosen to be a great leader into society. You're chosen to be a positive influence. You're chosen to be a positive asset. It's all what you make it. You're truly chosen to lead others the right way. You're chosen to spread love, to spread light, and to spread positivity, and to continue, like I said, to spread that torch of equanimity rather than isolation.